Hi. Sorry, I'm here to take a masterclass on tech transformation. I'm struggling with my tech. So no worries. Now it's all sorted. All right. Um, I am Sachin from KPMG. I'm a director there. Been with the firm for good 6 years. And thank you, RethinkHR, for inviting me to take a masterclass on human resources, digital transformation. Transformation, as you know, is a very important word. And nowadays, everyone we talk about, everything related to our lives is about transformation. So I'll start with some interesting facts because otherwise, before the high tea, I would see people sleeping, which I don't want. Okay. So in the last session, one of the panelists said AI. Now, AI is the new buzzword. So I start with something like how AI can save your marriage. People would say, oh, what is this? Like, what is AI helping me saving my marriage today? But I have a fact about it that 42% couples admit that they are frequently disturbed by their partner snoring. Now, let me just quickly tell you a small story. So probably there would be, let me take an example and just take Vijay as an example and his wife Lata or anyone, and they both are sleeping and Vijay has snoring issues. What does Lata do about it? So Lata, every day she struggles with this guy snoring. She's having word with him. She's telling him that either use separate bedrooms. So now using a separate bedroom, distance comes in. So that's where I'm coming and trying to tell you there there are no arguments, no separate bedrooms. So what AI did was, not to name any brand, but there's a brand called Tempo that has developed an anti-snoring bed for you. Now, what this bed does is, it does four things. Now, where I'm coming from is four things. Is one, it understands your sleeping patterns. Once it understands, it learns, it adapts, and once you are snoring, it changes your position in a way which you will not even realize. It's very normal, and it has micro vibrations generated, which the voice comes out. It senses all of that. It takes in all the readings and then helps your partner sleep. So after this bed they bought, then probably these guys would have slept together instead of separate rooms. Just an interesting fact from the AI buzzword which we had in the last session. Now I'm going to take you through a small journey around how evolution has happened over the years with digital HR. In your 1990s, the era, there was a shared service standardification, wherein, it talks, I'm here, okay, wherein it was focused on transactional activities. Everything was very manual, a lot of paperwork. Everything that happened was taking a lot of time. From there, we moved on to multi-sourcing efficiency or optimization, where we introduced multi-vendor deals. The emergence of center of excellence came into being. From there on, moved on from 2010, we are integrating SDMs, the service delivery models, or the global business services personalization. This is the era where more of cloud adoption happened. This is where interfunctional or multifunctional, sorry, integrated function, multifunctional delivery models known as global business models were introduced. From 2020 onwards, we moved on to the word digital. That's where customization, consumerization of HR came into being. The shift happened from digital technologies. There was an ability to deliver services virtually. All of a sudden, there was a lot of digitalization happening. There was complex value-add services that we could leverage technology in. And from there, we moved to this year, 2024, where that AI-enabled chatbots, metaverse, and everything came into being. So this is how The evolution has happened over years from the 1990s, where probably I was not working then. I was in school, but maybe some senior people who are here would be working, and today we see this. If so now, since this is a tech session, unlike other sessions, I want your phone to be in your hand, and I want you to answer this one question. What is that one AI trend in HR transformation that can elevate your practice? Okay. I'll, I'll slowly repeat the access code. It's 24759723. Sorry, I'm making you guys move, but 24759723. Again, problem with my tech. Sorry, I'm just trying to unhide the answers with whatever response I've got. Just give me 1 minute, please. Cool. Thank you. Thank you for responding to that. So if you see, what is that AI trend that comes in between? If you see generative AI, chat GPT, MIS, data, automated feedback, drafting company policies, but chat GPT, AI, onboarding are the main key levers to it today. Going back to my presentation. Now, why I ask this question is to tell you what basically is defining digitalization in HR in today's world. There are certain traits, digital traits and behaviors that come in. In today's world, agility, continuous innovation, transparency, data-driven mindset. Data is of utmost importance to all of us. Tech savviness, adaptability, employee-centric. Now, if you concentrate on the right side, what our employee-centric HR strategies comprises of? There are 5 things and elements that we see it. That is a personalization, unified experience, empowerment, brand, and engagement. That is what it's comprising of. These are the main key elements. There could be many, but these are the key elements that comprises of that. What are the tech enablers here? If I talk about Gen AI, like you guys answered, Chat GPT, the IoT, cloud, advanced analytics, and digital reality, and many more, which we have, and mobile, which we are using while we are listening to the presentation. So I would say an integration of advanced digital technologies to HR processes now, which are streamlined to better improve decision making in today's employee experience and a more agile and responsive organization. That's what we define as digital HR in today's world. Why there is a need for it? Now you will come and ask me, fine, nowadays the buzzword is there, but why is there a need for it? Why do we need digitalization or digital HR? So, okay, I'm from KPMG, so I brought in some facts from KPMG. We, as a firm, conducted a study about future of HR, okay, wherein we found out there is a significant gap on the current capabilities of the organization versus capabilities required by the future of HR Pathfinder. Now, when I say the term Pathfinder, it resonates to the finding of new course of way, especially through or into unexplored areas. So, as a part of this study, we found out that in next 12 to 24 months, 11% of your workforce will become redundant. 40% of them will, on an average, will need upskilling, and 60% would likely to work, 67% would likely to continue to work remotely. When I say that, on the redundant part, now HR professionals believe that AI while the study was conducted across, and a lot of leaders and CHROs were present in this. So they believe that AI will positively impact recruitment and other tasks across the organization, reducing manual dependency. Today, HR systems are still manual in some companies. There is a lot of dependency on HR BPs. A lot of queries are there. I'll come to those, all of those in my later slides. When I talk about upskilling, some said that building talent through upskilling and reskilling is the biggest priority in building workforce of the future. It's very necessary for your task force to be upskilled every probably now and then. It's an ongoing process. It doesn't stop. It needs to go on. It's a journey which you take them on. And when I talk about working remotely, HR needs to rethink productivity and performance measures in the light of shift to increase remote working. In the previous session, one of the panelists said, we have hybrid. So nowadays, most of the companies have hybrid culture. But while we were in COVID, while we were working remotely, it's like I would take my example where, my wife said, when I go in the morning, you're sitting here. While I come back in the evening, you're sitting here. Do you move? I'm taking my lunch along with my calls. I'm doing everything. So I decided that once this period got over, I will go to office every day, even if it's a hybrid working model for me. Because I love going to office for two reasons. One, I get to interact to a lot of people. Like I said, I can have small side chats, and it increased my performance. Okay. Also, there's one more fact. 69% that HR needs to reinvent and transform itself to depend effectively on the future disruption. Now, when I say all of this, moving on, how digitalization is enhancing productivity and efficiency. So just want to walk through a few pointers around what was happening in traditional HR versus what is happening in digital HR in the world today with a lot of companies, how it is functioning. Let's talk about administrative. Earlier, like I mentioned in my previous slide, it was a lot of repetitive and tedious tasks which we have. In digital HR, we have automation, we have intelligent solutions to streamline repetitive tasks which we have. Data. Data has been always a very huge problem where it's a complex processing, Like we say if you have a huge amount of data, but what kind of output you get out of that is to process it right. So nowadays there's an automated data collection, faster and more accurate analysis being happened through AI. You take an Excel, put it in AI, and tell the output you require. It'll give you some stats. It'll give you a lot of stats other than that also. Documentation. I remember when I joined my previous organizations, I started my career, there was a lot of documentation that was given to me. It's like I signed on almost 40, 45 pages going on. There's a lot of document I have to fill in, and then manually I have to sign all those. Nowadays, everything is digitalized, so we have digital records, easily accessible, secure. We don't have to go through those files. Employee inquiries. This is one of the challenges where all of the HRs are troubled. I understand, because I myself go to the HR a lot of times, asking for them a lot of things, like where is this policy? Where would I find this thing about an employee saying something to me? Where would I find that? So it's no one-time handling, time-consuming. Now we have chatbots, where you can go and ask your queries, where self-service portals are there. You have a lot of access to a lot of information where you can just access it. The links come in, just go to the link, read about it, it solves. Recruitment onboarding. It was, yes, I have faced this again. It is a very extensive and time-consuming process. Nowadays, it's automated, faster, and streamlined. Performance management. I would say in some of the companies, it's still a very rigorous process. There were reviews, email, paper-based evaluation, track multiple feedbacks. Nowadays, it's easy track because continuous feedback is a theory or a concept that keeps on going with all of us. So we keep on giving continuous feedback to all the employees that are the present, and we keep going on to that. Compliance and reporting. Earlier, there was manual. Again, we have automated it. And cost effectiveness. Earlier, the cost was pretty higher with respect to the FTs and everything. Today, with the automated processes and digital solutions, the costs have gone down. I'll quickly speak about the stages of HR digital transformation. Now, there are as per a consultant, as per us, we have defined it into 6 stages. One, business as usual. Second is present and active, formalized, strategic, converged, innovative, and adaptive. As a part of the consultancy, we are creating frameworks. We have methodologies through which we assess this. We go to different organizations, let it be, this is an HR forum, so I'll speak in HR terms, but it could be any sector relevant to HR today. We identify the gaps, we assess the tools and the systems, what we're using, the processes, what you are currently, using or how they are going on. We do that, and basis that we evaluate that where is the current maturity level of your organization standing today. So again, I would just want you to pick up your phone. I have a Menti question, I'll just make it small. How would you rate your organization's current level of digital maturity in HR today? So coming back to this, if you see, it's ideally ranging between a moderate to a high and not to, there are some organizations definitely on a very high scale, but it's still on a moderate. And what are the things or what are the practices you should be using, or what is the transformation you would be needing to move from that maturity scale, which I just showed you, to the next level? So there are a few things. Let's go back to the presentation. Okay, so like I said, when I say we are from moderate to high, it's like either we are formalized or strategic today. When I say strategic, it invests or it says you are a strategic partner to the organization, but data analytics and automation are deeply integrated. Where HR processes enabling better workforce planning and talent acquisition and employee engagement is there. So there are some key levers which you need to work on to move on to the converged and innovative and adaptive, like AI, chat GPTs, chatbots, and a lot of automation is required. And new upskilling of the process is most important. Without any process being transformed, getting a tech is no use. What are the drivers for digital HR? I would say automation, yes. We've been talking about it since I started. So automation of HR workflows can be achieved using technology, software products to replace manual work, which I just mentioned. It could be a continuous performance management where it's an agile approach to manage the performance, where to overcome what? Low transparency between employees and management, low workforce and productivity, and a high employee turnover. People analytics. So I am sure as an HR, you must be facing a lot of challenges related to employee retention. So where skills, gaps, etc., you must be analyzing. You, as a business leader, turning to people analytics an integral part of running a highly efficient organization. So there are data which you actually, capture. It gives you analysis and tells you why are the people, moving from an organization, what is the kind of things the organization should be doing to retain your employees, what are they actually looking for. Gen AI, yes, nowadays HR are recruiting using Gen AI to write their job descriptions, to give interview guides, to create engagement surveys, to develop trainings, courses, analyze data. On-demand training, wherein continuous training of the workforce is one of the most important HR trends, and social talent acquisition. So, we have media platforms like LinkedIn, we have Facebook, Twitter, and other forums for job boards, so allow recruiter to contact both active and passive candidates. Earlier, there was only few platforms from which we're recruiting, like Naukri.com or Monster.com, something. But nowadays, the game has changed. LinkedIn has come to being, and even you can put open to work, how active it is. Now I'll focus on few facts that we found out using that study. So it said by 2027, HR market for AI is estimated to reach approximately 17.6 billion, which is a huge number. 60% organizations are adopting to AI using Gen AI tools, highlighting its prevalence across various functions, including HR. And 38% of HR leaders today are currently piloting this generative AI projects within their organization, which says one third of the people or the leadership in HR already is moving towards that shift. It's a it's a kind of a game changer, and everyone wants to be ahead in that scenario where my company adapts the tech first. But again, it could be it could leap you down to something like no, it didn't help you, or it was not helpful, or it didn't go the right way for you. So people are cognizant of the fact that we need to adapt this, but they are also slow in adapting this because they want to learn what more capabilities that does that tool provide to you. Now, I'll give you an example. A company like Capgemini and HireAct recently conducted successful job fairs in Meta World. Attendees were able to create their avatars using Dawn VR headsets and join the event via their web browsers. So Metaverse is another concept that is into being, that comes in, and you actually feel that you are present there. Employee onboarding can improve employee retention up to 82%. That is again one of the theory which we have facts around. If you have a smooth onboarding process, it's like nowadays we are so deep into a work. Like when I joined KPMG, I remember my onboarding finished in like quickly 2 hours. There was an onboarding training which I had to attend for a day, which I did, and then quickly I was given the laptop and I started working on it. There was some work already been assigned because they hired me primarily for some particular work which I was already doing. So that's the kind of quick, we can be that quick in getting the onboarding smoothened out with these tools or being automated. Now, when I say all of this data, what are the key benefits of using Gen AI in the HR industry? One, it is streamlining your recruiting process. You will have personalized experiences. You will have better employee engagement. It reduces your workload by automated tasks. You will have predicted analytics for talent management, and you will have effective reviews and feedbacks. Like we are asking here, if we could have a form, it would have been quicker. We could have done it, quickly, just getting on the phone, quickly typing 5 answers, checkbox. It would have been a smoother experience. Also, what is the impact of introduction of Gen AI at various stages of HR? 34% think that updating development plans to upskill employees to use AI and related technologies at their work. And 29% are thinking identifying talent-based stories for skills and proficiency. And preparing employees whose work will be augmented by AI automation is 28%. So these are some facts which I found out through the study. Moving on to some use cases for the transformation opportunities. Like for campus, I just said we could have an integrated QR scanner, into a gamified app which could check off clear activities. So when you do a campus tour, nowadays when I go for recruitment, instead of presenting a PPT, I could just tell them, log into this app. I'll give you a quick tour about the company, of the culture which I have, culture which is very important to the new generation nowadays, and us also. Doesn't mean I'm old. But then, yeah, so it's very smoother, easier. So I've done this, I've recently done this as a part of my recruitment, which I have conducted recently. We can have predictive hiring analytics, assessing a candidate's potential historical data, to help us whether they are fit for the role, whether, whatever the JDs which we are creating, are they matching the records which we actually require. It is much faster that way. How many of you are HR BPs here? Any HR BPs? So yeah, these guys are very troubled, Absolutely. Because HRBPs are assigned to a vertical, having a lot of people, employees around, and every now and then we reach out to them, where is this policy? Where is this holiday list? Where is that? Where is this? A lot of theoring, and it could be silly questions, but these guys maintain their calm patience and like, okay, no worries, I'll provide it. So we can create a digital buddy, like a digital twin for you, which is like LLM powered bot being trained by HR guidelines, and it could give you the responses which an HR BP works on or any other, you know. So it gives faster response for the employees. It resolves a lot of, it saves a lot of time for these guys and it helps them. Now, sentimental analysis is something, a feedback and survey for communication to gauge overall mood. Now, sentimental analysis, I believe, is a very important part of today's, in working environment, because we need to understand how my employees are feeling, how what is the culture which I'm providing to them is suiting the work-life balance is there. In terms of learning and development, are there trainings going on? So there's a feedback and we need to understand this. And once this is there, then we would probably, help analyze this data, and then we can take out few facts around it and we can see where is the most focus that is more required on. Collaboration tool and training platforms is something where, visualization of office spaces and customization avatars can be created for digital twins, which I spoke about. Blockchain. Now, blockchain in today's world, security, data security is a must. It is, everyone wants their data to be secured. When I sign up for a company, I give them my bank records, I give them my PAN card, I give them my Aadhaar card, I give them a lot of data, my mother, father's information, my spouse information. So there a lot of information is being stored with the company. A blockchain is very important for this because it provides a robust security and it improves transparency and reliability. Also, there is this thing, nowadays when you leave the company, you can tell HR that, after a certain period of time, the company cannot retain your records. You want them deleted, you can go ahead and ask for it. So having blockchain in place, firstly, you can go and have a update on it, but you can't go and, in the past, go and modify any record. You can have a chain in a database where previous record is there, but you can have an update on it. That previous record will always be there. You cannot just go and change it. Now, I spoke about metaverse. We've spoken about Gen AI a lot. Now I'll speak about metaverse. So nowadays we are having virtual town halls. So what we do is we log into the town hall and choose an avatar. Once you do that, you register at the avatar desk. You can have your general inquiries and questions that have been answered. Then you can have an immersive success stories booth, wherein, the immersive video booth for recent success stories of the team. Like we have panels here and they come and tell us about some success stories, their experiences, which panelists can come and, record it and we can go and hear it. Instead of, maybe I'm not in the room, I can still go and create an avatar and listen to it later. And we can use a keynote address and then we move to the main arena where actually the seminar is happening. We can have a Q&A session for the leaders and meet and greet. Now, what are the benefits of this? Earlier, while we were having these town halls in a big room, it was firstly, it takes some cost up. Definitely to get all of you here, it would have taken some cost. Yeah, I would say, yes, it helps in increased savings. You can have borderless connectivity because nowadays we all work for MNCs where we have our teams in different parts of India plus outside India. So we can have all together in one town hall. And it's an improved engagement where I would say the reason because when you collaborate with your different teams across globe, you would also understand what perspective they bring in, what kind of questions or what kind of diversity or culture they are coming from, and you would help understand on these town all the kind of questions they put in or their perspective around it. So yes. Now, talking about blockchain, firstly, I mentioned now blockchain, as you know, it's very secure nowadays. With this coming in, some of the HRs might not agree on one of the 2 points which I would want to say now. Firstly, the background and the employee history check. So this is an important term nowadays that happens once you join an organization. Every organization conducts a BGV. So company applicants can acquire virtual credentials, tokenizing their identity, which provides immutable work record to their work history. Instead of going manually and checking with HR, sometimes there are some gaps. There might be amendments which can be done. Coming to performance review is something. So in KPMG, as a manager, my employees fill in their performance reviews. I evaluate them. I have a discussion. Once the discussion is over, I put in my review. It's shared with them. They see it, they agreed, and they say submit. Fine. But can HR modify it from behind? Yes. They can change the ratings. They can still tweak few things which are open to them because they have the admin control. I'm not trying to take that away. But with the blockchain, what happens is if I have documented something and which has been agreed between me, HR, and the employee, it can be updated, like I said, but there is a record which is already present and always we can have an access to it. It's like creating a version history of it. Compliance and regulations, where employees can enforce right to be forgotten entitlements, which I just mentioned, as we share a lot of data with the companies, which are critical, which are very, very crucial. So we want them to be deleted once you leave the company. So that's in being like right to be forgotten entitlements by deleting the encryption key, and it's unrecoverable. You cannot ever recover it. So it's gone. Smart contracts, basically it's about programming your automatically executing your payrolls, transactions based on the conditions and your errors and delays. Like some organization works in, I have been to few clients wherein they process their payrolls depending on the timesheets. So they verify the number of times you have been in office, you have punched in, punched out, the number of hours, basis that they process that. So this is like you can put in a key, the blockchain can record it, and they can automatically execute with all the guidelines you provided, and you can move forward. Last, employee data security and access, wherein records can be encrypted and immutably recorded, especially for the private records. Like in our trainings, we learn there are some sensitive records. There are some records which are open to all. So we do not want to disclose those records. So we want our records to be encrypted. Now, coming back to Metaverse, I just want to give you a few examples of few companies, what they are doing. For example, Walmart. What is Walmart doing with Metaverse? So Walmart is using VR to train its employees on various skills such as customer service, safety, compliance. In KPMG, we created Metaverse for one of the manufacturing companies where you wear that headset and you go and train accordingly. You don't need to be in a real environment. It also helps you for your safety standards. Definitely you have to be, tomorrow you will need to be there, but once you understand today, you don't know how it is, and today you are a new person, you are not well equipped with it. So it's better that you train in the metaverse environment before you go on the real conditions. Company like Lufthansa, they're using metaverse to train their cabin crew to simulate in-flight experiences and enhance cognitive and interpersonal skills. Hyundai, They are actually doing an employee onboarding and training. They have created virtual campus where new hires can learn about the company's histories, values, and vision. And yes, there are other examples which you can see on the screen. Like L'Oreal is taking their employees through a customer journey from different perspectives. So that is again so much. These are very few examples, but trust me, companies are doing so much. As in part of KPMG, I know what all clients we're dealing with and how this is coming into being. Last thing, as I understood, we have a lot of CHROs and senior leadership and HRBPs here. So, what you guys should be focusing on, what is your key takeaways from this session or this masterclass? So again, coming back that we conducted a future of HR study addressing the uncertainties and dilemma of modern HR as they move towards 2025. So to successfully navigate through this crisis, all of you as an HR leaders must, one, have a digital mindset. Without having a digital mindset, it's not going any way forward. I am not talking just about implementation of tools. It's also talking about, digitizing your processes. So the core purpose and ESG agenda is to create a powerful architecture that uses a real-time analytics, behavioral organization to meet its objective. Second talks about your workforce insights and analytics, where you can connect people, data with the business outcomes. You're looking forward, you have been aligned. Nowadays, everything is data-driven. So how are you measuring the productivity? How are you measuring the future needs with greater accuracy? So this is one. Now, you need to provide your employees with a world-class experience. Like I mentioned, experience-driven processes are of utmost importance. You can go ahead, implement systems. They do not work unless your processes have been stated right in your system. HR organization of the future. You need to revisit your workforce composition to ensure business continuity. Providing flexible work arrangements by using business insights to continuously transform the employee experience. You need to enable tech, definitely. It's because application is part of the ecosystem that drives data from decision-making, automates repetitive tasks using chatbots, enabling AI solutions. And the last is prioritizing on a strong employee value proposition. Basically, when I say the new age employees, they create a robust EVP, employee value proposition. Nowadays, they are very keen on understanding, how they are, how are you prioritizing them on separate scales or different value propositions which they are put in. So this is what, short and sweet, I hope I covered it well in time, and I still see people awake, so I hope it was not that boring. I know tech can be boring for you guys, but yes, trust me, it is digitalization that you need to think about, sit with yourself, understand that, to survive in the coming world, it's just not AI or metaverse. You need to start thinking what it could be from a simple way of digitizing your processes first, and then the tech coming in to getting onto that AI part. So thank you very much. And thank you, RethinkHR, for inviting me here to get this tech session.